Social media encourages people to show off what they have. And so, like we've said, it assaults you with bodies, houses, cars, planes, and all kinds of fancy things. But there's a part of that that goes the other way. In fact, a large amount of people's energy goes to showing themselves in nature, with certain types of scenery, water, open spaces, trees, and weather. Even our most expensive homes are often designed to echo these same primitive environments. Now, it is obvious that these things must contribute to our survival, having fresh water, ripe plants, and warm weather, but there's a lot more to it than that. Despite all the things that the modern world gives us that makes our lives obviously better than our ancestors, we seem to have a natural desire to throw all of that away and move to a totally different and simpler life situation. Books, movies, and documentaries have been made about it, and they've had incredible amounts of success. So what is that exactly, and what does it mean about us? I think it's pretty cool, so let's talk about it. First, the basic idea of beauty is that we feel good in certain environments that, in the past, were the best ones for our survival. Water lets us bathe, fish, and is often accompanied by warm, sunny weather that makes it easy to survive without clothes or shelter. So we feel a certain natural amount of pleasure when we look at and spend time in those areas. But that's not the only way our brain calculates our chances of surviving, because it exists as a tool to help us deal with chaotic situations, mainly because we have to avoid predators and actively find food. Life that doesn't, like trees, never even developed a brain in the first place, so this is its whole purpose. And the main goal of our brain is to be able to predict what will happen. The more we understand things, the more easily we can survive and get what we want. So we have a constant level of awareness of just how certain we are of what's going on and what we need to do. And our comfort is related to that. This is a major reason why we like environments with wide open spaces. We can see what's coming. But it's not just limited to the environment itself. The processes by which we get food and live also require us to think and be able to predict things. So when we end up in a situation where we don't understand everything that we rely on, we have an inherent sense of discomfort. And this is where we have a problem, because traditionally, all of our activities were pretty simple. Cutting wood, building shelter, hunting. We could learn each of them as children. But as time passed, life got more complicated. We rely on each other much more than we ever did before. So the modern world, despite giving us more of our needs than we've ever had in the past, carries with it that inherent discomfort. We don't actually know how our electricity works, or our cars, or plumbing, or many other things. And we don't often think about that. We get used to that situation. But that doesn't mean our feelings totally adjust to it. Even if we're used to being uncomfortable, naturally, we remain open to a better situation. So, even though we may not realize why we don't totally like our everyday environment, when we see that other option, the beautiful sand and surf, the trees and scenic views, that feeling of interest inherently kicks in. It gives us a hint of a level of basic pleasure that we just don't normally have. And so, we long for it. But we also pay attention to how we would get there and how we would live when we did.
You know, no watch, no map, no axe, no nothing.
Just like we want to go to that place, we want to make life into something we understand and thus can control and preserve more easily. This is why we want to simplify all these things. But this desire is not all we imagine. These paradises are certainly better than what our ancestors had, and survival shows usually have their most boring episodes when they do deserted islands, due to the coconuts, fishing, and pleasant weather, but they're not actually better than what we have now. If you try to go the whole way, as both Chris McCandless and Martin Popplewell found out, you get mosquitoes and dysentery from the wild food. We really are a mix of old feelings and new potential. The more we develop, the more we have to know and teach ourselves, the less happy it can make us. And so, we may have to find a balance between being modern and primitive people to be truly happy. Thanks for listening, and if you like this video, click the notification bell. Catch you later.